Hi, welcome to the SAP HANA Cloud Platform Podcast. This is episode 5, recorded on June 5th, 2015. Today's speakers, we have Michael Ameling from the product team of the Gamification Services and myself, Rune Gera, from the product management of the SAP HANA Cloud Platform. Today's topics, we will talk with Michael about the Gamification Service on the HANA Cloud Platform, also look into some upcoming events nearby, and also about the release notes from June 4th, 2015. But now we will start with the Gamification Service. And we have for that Michael on the line. Michael, how are you doing?
Hi, Rui. I'm doing fine, thanks. How are you?
I'm fine too. Michael, we want to talk about the HANA Cloud Platform beta for gamification services. But before looking into that, so can you explain what gamification means and what and how this is connected with the HANA Cloud Platform Gamification Service?
Yes, of course I can do. So maybe you have heard of LinkedIn and Miles & More already?
Yes, but how is that related to gamification?
I mean, this is rather simple. I mean, it uses game mechanics. So, for example, in LinkedIn, you see all your contacts and all users see how many contacts you have. But let's talk about the Miles & More scenario. So, are you collecting points?
Yes, I am.
And why are you doing that?
Of course, I want to do an upgrade someone to business class, if somehow possible, somewhere in the near future.
Exactly. So it gives you some kind of intrinsic motivation to participate and actually to do a certain task and actually book the right, let's say, company where you're flying with, right? And that's actually what gamification is about.
Okay.
It's about motivating users to doing a certain task. And for the definition of gamification, it means using game mechanics in the enterprise context.
Mm-hmm. Okay, got it. And so what kind of gamification service is now provided for the developers of the HANA Cloud Platform? So how can they use this?
Actually, you mentioned a good point. It's for developers, and we are providing a technical service which allows you to rapidly introduce gamification in any application. So imagine you have an application where you want to introduce gamification. In the past, it has been complex process, a lot of development efforts, and you don't know how to do operations, and actually, how do you maintain all that? And we provide the service based on HCP, where you can basically hook up to our gamification service, where you can manage your game mechanics, such as points, levels, missions, and any rules. And last but not least, you can analyze your game mechanics, and even you can combine it with across applications. So imagine you have your one application which you have gamified, and you have a second one. Typically, you have gamification silos with the gamification service. You can combine them together and have one consolidated profile.
Over all my applications that I run on the HANA Cloud Platform.
Exactly.
Okay. So I'm a developer. So how can I test this out? How do I use it? So you are talking about rules and creating missions and so on and so forth. So I assume that one part, let's call it the mission part, is something that you have to configure somewhere, and then there should be also some kind of a part where you define the rules, and that's something that I need to program. Or how does it work in specifically?
This is exactly almost the three steps actually we are referring to. So the first one, exactly as you mentioned, you would start to maintain your game mechanics. So we offer a workbench where you can maintain, let's say, the game design for your, let's say, application. So maintain all the rules, missions, and so on. And this is the first step you actually do. This can be done by a gamification designer or, of course, for the developer. Second, you mentioned the integration in the application, right? Yes, so this would be actually the second step. So we offer an API where you can integrate. So this means on one side sending events, so actually the events which are causing the, let's say, user achievements and are applied for the rules. So, for example, you press a button, you do a certain task. So such an event you send to the gamification service via an API.
Okay.
And then, of course, these rules are applied. So this would be the integration part. So we have a technical integration there. And, of course, you also want to see what the user achieved, right? So you want to see how many, let's say, achievements you earn, so maybe points, badges, whatever. So this would be a second hookup. So we have another API where you can retrieve the user achievements. So this would be the second step. So first you do your game design, second you do the integration. And last but not least, since we rely on HCP, we can also provide some analytical capabilities. So you can, for example, analyze, so how did my gamification concept work out? So who got how many points during which time? And this, of course, allows you to do some analyzing and improve your game concept. And what do you think? How long does a gamification concept last? So in your application once you designed?
You mean if I thought about rules and how long these rules will stick?
Yes, actually, yes.
I mean, if I do it, I mean, if I'm a genius, maybe once or twice a year. But if I want to try out stuff, exactly. I think it's much more, right?
You're struggling, and this is the reason, because you don't know, and you will not know, because it's a continuous process which you have to improve. This might not be the case for learning scenarios where you have a limited point of time, but be aware, gamification is a continuous process, and that's why we said, okay, you can maintain, change, adapt, and modify your game designs also during runtime. So, for example, you can introduce easily a new level, new game mechanics, change the rules. And this gives you the flexibility you actually need. So let's imagine you have some special, let's say, ideas for Christmas or Easter holiday, and you want to give double points, or people exceeded the maximum number of level. You can simply add it via the workbench, and it's immediately applied to your gamification in your application.
Okay, Michael, but one question which is still in my mind. So you are always talking about the game mechanics and the rules. So how do I develop those? I think that needs to be programmed in some kind of language, right? So is it JavaScript, or is it something only that I need to configure? How does it work in specifically?
Maybe one step back.
Okay.
So our intention was, of course, to apply or give the game designer the flexibility that he can give any rules. So even they might have time constraints, they want to apply that rules are working together. So for example, two people doing the same thing at a certain time, only then a rule applies. So you can have really arbitrary complex rule on that. And of course, if you imagine a graphical user interface, of course, is really limited and limits the gamification designer. We wanted to avoid it, so there we introduced a DSL, so-called, so a domain-specific language. This is quite easy to learn, actually. So this gives you all the flexibility to, let's call, program your rules. But of course, for the easy entry, of course, this is rather complex. So we said also, okay, we will offer, and actually we included that also, some formula-based editors. So, for example, for an onboarding scenario, you simply have an editor to click a simple rule together on a formula-based. But secondly, you also have the option with the DSL, of course.
Okay, so meaning I can start easy with just clicking everything together, and once I want to drill it more down and do some specifics on it, I can still put my hands on the code and then modify it.
Exactly. And this is also how the full service is built. So you can start simple. So when you enable the service in the HANA Cloud Platform, which is free on trial, of course, you can just simply create some demo content by default. So this is already included. We have a sample application which you already subscribe to once you enable the service. So you don't have to configure anything.
So you actually enable it in the in your HANA Cloud Platform cockpit, right? Under subscriptions or services? Under services.
No, under services. Under services. Exactly, there you will find the gamification service. You just have to press an enable, and you will get your own subscription, and you can actually start immediately. Just one hint, if you want to use an example application, which is included, you have to configure one destination, but this is all documented, so just one step. And then you can already start and use an application, so it's a sample application where you can do tickets and you will earn your points. You can start this already now, so this will take you only 5 minutes. But we also have this application on GitHub, so it's open source.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see how the integration is done. You can play around with. And of course, in the workbench, you can modify the game mechanics we included. You can add new ones. So you can step-by-step enhance your gamification concept and step-by-step increase complexity.
So, and the GitHub project is what's the link? Is it also in the documentation?
It's also documentation, but simply on the github.com/SAP you will find the gamification project.
Cool. So I think I will try this out too in the next couple of weeks. I think this was a pretty good summary of what the gamification services beta currently provides. Michael, thanks a lot for giving us an overview about that. Really appreciate. And
thanks a lot for the invitation.
Yeah, you are very welcome. And let's see how the gamification services will be used throughout the community.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, and refer also to our SCN article, so where you can see how you can try it out. And again, thanks for the invitation, Rui, and talk to you next time. See you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Michael. And while Michael leaves the call, we go on with the next topic, around the corner. So events that happen just nearby you. So this time we have quite a good number of events there. So if you're in Berlin, we have the IoT at Scale event where the HANA Cloud Platform will be also shown. And the next one, a webinar happening on June 10th with the HANA Cloud Platform for SuccessFactors. If you want to also participate in the webinar, just go to sap.com and look for the technical deep dive SAP HANA Cloud Platform for SuccessFactors, and you will find it. And the same for extensions for SAP Jam, also a webinar on June 18th. And then we have 4 code jams around the HANA Cloud Platform. One is on June 12th in the Netherlands, another one in Indonesia on June 16th. In Singapore, 2 code jams in a row, June 18th and 19th. And in Bulgaria, in Sofia, on June 18th. Also a code jam around the HANA Cloud Platform with our developer colleagues from Sofia. So in the next step, let's look what's new, looking into the release notes of June 4th. We have some updates on the Eclipse tools to import and export user roles in the Eclipse IDE. To get that, just update the Eclipse tools for SAP HANA tools and SAP HANA Cloud Platform tools, so you can have those changes in your Eclipse too. The console client will also support now Java version 8. So I think a big milestone here to have also Java 8 support. We have some further enhancements around the document service, the mobile document service, and the cloud connector. And it's also now easier to configure or customize platform domains with application URLs. If you want to have a list of all the release notes, just go to the HANA Cloud Platform Developer Center under developers.sap.com/cloud, and you will find the release notes there listed too. So Q&A corner. As you know, you can raise questions around the HANA Cloud Platform via Twitter. So you simply tweet us your questions with the hashtag HCP Podcast. And we have one community member, Tamas Sirtes, who actually didn't use the hashtag HCP Podcast, but we still found it. And his question was mainly, will SAP release a roadmap for app services? And the question is, yes, so the roadmap is there. You can actually find the most current one also on SlideShare. Go to slideshare.net/SAPHCP, and you will find there the roadmap for Q2. And there you can find all the details about what is currently released, what the future plans are, future directions, and it's all listed there. So you will find there all the services that will be added over time now to the HANA Cloud Platform, creating additional benefits and additional functionality for those who are using the HANA Cloud Platform. And we are coming to an end for this HANA Cloud Platform podcast. Thanks a lot for listening. The next episode will be recorded on June 19th, 2015. I hope you enjoyed it. You got now a good overview about the gamification services and the news around the HANA Cloud Platform. And talk to you soon in the next episode. Bye-bye. The SAP HANA Cloud Platform podcast is powered by OpenSAP. OpenSAP is SAP's innovative learning platform and a thought leader for enterprise massive open online courses. It provides you with an engaging and effective learning experience through gamification and by connecting you with other learners and SAP experts. OpenSAP courses are free of charge and are offered in English. Enroll today to one of our OpenSAP courses on open.sap.com.